Well, good morning, Trondheim friends, and welcome to this week's edition of Patio Ponderings. And guess what? We're actually out on the patio today. We're having a heat wave in Minnesota, and we're expecting temperatures to be in the upper 30s, close to 40 degrees. And it feels great out here. So, this past Sunday, we had the story of this meeting between Jesus and Nicodemus. And Nicodemus comes to Jesus in the dark, and he's really curious about Jesus, but he just doesn't understand what Jesus is telling him. And it is in this reading that we get that most famous verse, "For God so loved the world, he gave his only son." So that was in the middle of all that too. But what I have been thinking so hard about this week is the last couple of verses in our reading. And this is John chapter 3, verses 20 and 21. "So all who do wicked things hate the light and don't come to the light for fear their actions will be exposed to the light. Whoever does the truth comes to the light so that it can be seen that their actions were done in God." This is one of those verses we almost skim over without thinking about it, but there's something really intriguing in here, and I'm wondering if you caught it. It's whoever does the truth. Usually we think of speaking the truth, and then truth is a noun. But this verse is clearly making the truth an action word. It says it can be seen through that their actions were done in God. The other really intriguing thing is that it stands then as the opposite to wickedness. We think of the opposite of wicked deeds as being good deeds, but the opposite of wicked deeds is doing truth. Isn't that interesting? So I wanted to spend some time thinking about this with you. So the first thing I did, of course, is go back to the Greek. And a little more precise translation then would be the one who practices the truth. Isn't that interesting? So this is the one who's practicing doing truth. Then we want to put it in context. What else does Jesus have to say about truth in the Gospel of John? And he talks about truth quite a bit in John, but there's two verses in particularly that I found helpful. One is Jesus comes full of grace and truth. That's from John chapter 1. And then in John chapter 14, Jesus says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." So when we think about doing truth then and having this be an action word, we understand that it's not about speaking true things about Jesus. It's not about speaking the true doctrines. It's not about talking about true beliefs or the right things to believe. It's about doing that which is of Jesus. And knowing that this verse, "For God so loved the world," is in the middle of this, then we have to come back to the understanding that doing truth is about love. It's about loving our neighbor. It's about loving God. It's about doing all those things that Jesus did in his ministry. And so we're talking about feeding the hungry and freeing the oppressed, welcoming the stranger, healing the sick, visiting those in prison. We're talking about doing truth as then forgiving, having compassion, having mercy, showing grace. Isn't that an interesting way to look at it? That doing the things of Jesus, that being a disciple of Jesus is about doing truth. What do you think? Is this something you caught when we heard the reading on Sunday? Is this new for you? Because this is a new catch for me too. As always, I would love to hear what you have to say. Enjoy this very brief warm-up today, and we will see you on Sunday. Bye.